Hey everyone, and welcome back to Real Talk No Gimmicks with Haley, Demi, and Aaron. We're so glad you guys are here with us wherever you're listening. Whatever time you're listening, we hope you're finding this well. Today's going to be a really exciting episode because we do have a guest with us. Yes, it's going to be a really fun episode. So I'm just going to hand it over to Demi, and she's going to introduce our guest.
Okay, so this guest ran runways. Okay, she was in the LA Fashion Week. Okay, she worked for Spotify. She graduated recently from a prestigious university, USC, which rejected me, but that's not the point. The point is she is the epitome of Black girl magic. She's making waves.
Yes.
So, without further ado, let me introduce you guys to the Ella.
Yes.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, we're so happy to have you. We've heard such amazing things.
Thank you.
Yes.
Likewise.
Yeah. And let me just say, I can tell you're a model. Like, you walk
Yeah,
she's so pretty.
Stunning.
She's
Thank
so
you
pretty.
so much.
The room is glistening.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, you're from USC, right?
Yes, so
USC.
I just graduated in USC like 3 months ago now.
Congrats.
Thank you. It
Congratulations.
feels so unreal because like
Yeah.
everyone's going back into school now,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I should be there, but I'm not.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. What did you major in?
I majored in communications and I minored in marketing.
Awesome.
Okay.
Wow.
That's great.
That's really great. So, as you can tell, our interview today is about college. A lot of college questions. So, the first one, you told us that you were a transfer student, right? Okay, so did you ever feel a sense of divide between transfer students and students who came straight from high school at all?
Personally, okay, not really, just because I would say that there are like sophomore transfers, there are junior transfers, and I transferred in sophomore year, which I found to be a little bit easier because like the class right under me, the freshman class, were also like new, and it was kind of closer than if I were like a junior, like the upperclassmen as opposed to like lowerclassmen. So I definitely did still go to like the new student events, even though they were mostly meant for like freshmen. Like students, they were also meant for transfers, but a lot of transfers just didn't want to do that stuff.
Right.
And I would go like try to meet as many people as I could. So I didn't feel too much of a divide. Like no one really knows you're a transfer unless you say you're a transfer. So it was a pretty smooth transition, but there were moments where in my head I was like, I feel like I'm the only sophomore here, or like yeah, but
With that, what would you say were like some of your highlights in college? Like experiences, maybe people you've met?
I feel like I have a lot of highlights. I think definitely well, COVID was like 2 years of college.
Oh my gosh.
But I think that especially coming back from COVID, I tried to make the most out of everything. Like my senior year, I was like, I have to do as much as I could. So I tried to go to everything, the school concerts, events. I traveled a lot my senior year. I tried to meet as many people as I could. And it helped that my younger brother came to USC and he's super social. So I also made some friends through him as well. So I think definitely some of the highlights were just like meeting amazing people and just really trying to take advantage of the fact that like going to school in LA.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
I love that. Well, if you could go back to USC and change anything, what would it be?
Okay, part of me would say COVID.
Yeah.
I obviously can't change a worldwide pandemic.
Right.
But I think that my first year, I think that having come already a year later than like a lot of people did, like freshman year, like my coming in sophomore year, and then like that year COVID hit, and then like in my head I was kind of like, oh my gosh, like am I just never gonna go back to school? Like what's happening? But I think that obviously that did bring a lot of like blessings and like good experiences too. So I think something I personally would change is just like I was not so serious when I came in sophomore year because I was like freedom, like
right.
let's go out and let's party. And I definitely did get more serious my junior year and like even part of sophomore year when COVID hit. But I think that's something I would definitely change is like I wish I would have just been serious from the start. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understood the COVID aspect of it because we talked about it so much, but like I feel like if we didn't have COVID, our high school experience would be a little bit better, a little bit
Maybe
better.
a lot of bit.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have been talking a lot about college, and a lot of us here have a lot of work to do when it comes to college, depending on your major, whatever. So I was wondering if you had any tips on how to deal with time management in college, because I feel like lately, for me especially, like I've had a lot of things to do,
Yeah.
and everyone wants a life outside of school,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it can be kind of hard to find. So I was wondering if
Yeah.
you could share any tips or if you had any, advice on that.
My senior year, I got a mentor, and I think that really helped me because they were the ones that were like, you need like time management. And I was like, what's time management? I like didn't know that. I was like, I just think I can just fit every aspect of my life in my head. Like, I just think hopefully everything will work out. But my senior year, I was like, okay, I need to get everything like on a schedule. I started using Google Calendar, which is very
my
helpful.
go-to.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
helpful because I think written agendas like let's say right now you guys are like, oh, okay, like August 23rd, like we need you to do this or that. Like I probably wouldn't have my written like agenda,
Yeah.
but on my phone I could just pull out Google Calendar and be like, okay, like here I'll do this. And I think like prioritizing is so important as well.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely some things that like could take a shorter amount of time than other things, but like other things are more important.
Yeah.
So definitely like just having good time management is very important, and like different ways to that, like I said, would be like Google Calendar, having good people in your life that can kind of guide you to doing this or that, or like advise you. That's what's really like helped me.
That's
That's
really
a great
good.
answer. I love that.
Yeah. Did any point did it get like really overwhelming for you at times, like even with time management?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that communications was like easier than other majors. I can say that because I was in communications, but
yeah.
I think that even like despite the fact like my senior year I just tried to do everything. So I was working 3 part-time jobs, and then I was a full-time student applying for jobs, and I also was trying to like still do a little bit of modeling like when it was possible to, and I also was like just trying to balance in a social life. And I think that was kind of just overwhelming sometimes. So definitely there were times that were overwhelming.
Yeah. I think it's just something we expect out of college. It's just
It's like inevitable no matter like what major, like what school, there's always like that school or work-life balance, and you touched a bit on it because I think we've talked about it before, about like trying to find balance where you're taking care of what you're supposed to be doing, like in this case school, or like if you have an internship or whatever, and still trying to have like fun or like just life off of school. So what tips, like, cause I know when we went into college, at least I'll just speak for me, like I went to college and I was like, yes, I'm gonna just like socialize like every day, and like I'm just like gonna sit on the grass and just like eat my fruit and just like be great. And then I got to college and I started like filling out that calendar of what I need to do, and it's like, when am I supposed to like breathe?
Yeah.
So I know you've talked about time management. Would you add anything else about the importance of having a work-life balance? Like, do you find it to be like useful, and like how did you go about that?
So definitely like I think like some people don't touch on enough is like mental health. Like mental health is so important, and I think that definitely like sometimes people like overstress themselves. And definitely like even me, like sometimes I'm like, I can do this and this and this, like even if I know I'm gonna be burnt out, like I'm gonna make it happen. So I think that like that really did take a toll on me sometimes, and I think that when I came to the realization, and like from talking to people, getting like my mentor, and then like coming to the realization that like I need to still like remember that like not that college is unimportant. College is so important. College is 4 years of your life, potentially like few more years if you're doing like grad school or other schools. Like your life is so much like beyond college, and like college does set a lot of like your future. So it's definitely important to pay so much attention to that, but also to like don't let school be your personality, if that makes sense. Like don't let it be that when you graduate, like it's like, oh, what now? Like what is my life now? So definitely that's why I think, like, because when I was like in high school, middle school, I did not go out. Like I did not really go out, and then I think school, and like especially like being in a Nigerian family, it was school.
Girl, don't get me started.
So I think that like after I graduated, I was like, and I didn't get into USC the first year because I was a transfer. So the first year I was like, oh my gosh, like what did I do? Like I spent so much time on school that now I'm just
you have like a midlife crisis.
Yeah. So I think definitely like just realizing how important like your social life is, and again prioritizing still like your academics and like responsibilities, but also remembering to like fit in social life and like self-care is just very important.
I really love the point you made about how you made not making school your personality, because my first year I did make school my personality. I was that type of person in my dorm, my head in the books, reading, writing, turning in essays and squat. But now later on,
I'm sorry.
It works.
It's better than another word. But anywho, later on, like I did have problems with my mental health to the point I got more anxious about the little things. And I cried more, I slept late, I woke up too early, and it was just hectic. But now I find myself recently just taking my time, taking it easy, just taking care of myself, writing journals. Again, it's imperative to have journal entries. Just write out what you're feeling, write out your goals. It could take 5 minutes. But just taking those little moments does a lot. And speaking of doing a lot and just trying your best and just making the most out of college, what tips do you have for, us students? Like, we're entering our second year of college. We're sophomores.
Crazy.
Jesus. But any tips for those in college about making the most out of it?
I definitely will say find your hobbies, like 100,000%. And I think that, that's one tip. But I think that like definitely like some people find their hobbies in different ways. Some people like to join clubs, join sports, join like Greek life. But I think some people also don't realize that there's more to like to college than just those things. So definitely like, even just finding your people is very important. It can be in so many different ways. I really found out my senior year that I love traveling. So I started traveling my senior year, and that made me like really happy. And finding just things I really like to do, like even if it was little things like cooking in my apartment. I didn't know I liked that until I started doing that. And in terms of like school, definitely like studying, which is like a given, but just really know the material, know the like the classes you're taking, if that makes sense. Because I think that I added a minor because I wanted to take classes that I didn't feel like, oh, I just have to take these like as a to graduate. But I think finding a minor that you're really interested in, and you can find different classes that you really want to take, just makes school so much easier because you're there and you want to learn and you're like immersed in it. So definitely
those are really good points. I was gonna ask you real quick, like as part of the hobbies, was the modeling a thing you did in college? Like did that start in college?
It started my freshman year, so that was before I started USC, and then when I started USC it got harder. Time,
of course.
But it started freshman year, kind of went into sophomore year.
That's really cool. This was really quick, like
wow,
but it went by fast. But at USC, I was wondering, what is the most valuable lesson you took with you from college that you apply even after school is done? I know it's like a really deep question.
No.
You can have multiple answers, answer however you want to.
I think I think college is a time where people discover more about themselves. And you hear that on TV and in movies and everything, but you don't realize it until you're there. And for when I didn't even know that I like what I'm working in, like I would like what I'm working in, which is like podcasts and tech, until I interned for them. And after I interned, I was like, I like this. Like, I want to take more classes like this. And then I took more classes. So definitely, I think it's really helpful to like find what you like, but then follow that. Like, don't just find what you like and you're like, all right, yeah, like I like this, but there's other things in the world. So like, if you really like math, then like find classes you can take that really help you, find internships that help you, find people that can help you develop yourself in that field or in that like hobby or in that like type of work. So that definitely, I hope, was good.
Yeah, that was very good. Yeah.
That was perfect.
I'm going to take that with me for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Packing that to go.
Yes.
So I know this is not the question we put in our list, but what are you doing right now? Like,
well, right now I'm working for Spotify.
oh, okay.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm traveling a lot. I really like traveling.
Yeah.
I think I said that like 3 times.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I love it.
I still do try to make as much time as I can with friends, which might look different now that like school's starting, like jobs are like some people are starting their jobs this month. I love spending time with family. Like thankfully, like we all live kind of in a proximity to each other, so I really like spending time with family. My brother got a dog, so I like
Really?
yeah.
We'll talk more after this. Okay.
Right.
Just for now.
Okay. So I spent a lot of time with his dog too.
That's so
Sweet.
Yeah, and just I think definitely still trying to do things that I enjoy. It's just like feel like I have to do.
Yeah. Is there a favorite place that you've traveled?
I think I have different, like, if you ask, it depends on when you ask me. I really liked Dubai because I think it was, like, international and, like, beautiful.
Yeah.
I also liked Hawaii because it's tropical.
Yeah.
New York is, like,
Oh, yeah. Aaron went to New York.
Oh, was my favorite.
I love New
York.
Yeah,
Oh
it's,
my
like,
gosh,
one of
dream.
the best places in the world.
Literally.
But yeah, I would definitely say those are probably my solid 3.
I know, we talk about traveling all the time. It's just like obviously really hectic, but we're saving up, we're going
Yes.
places, like we have to.
Yeah, actually Debbie Lowry's sister was the one that was like talking to us about traveling like 2 years ago. I think.
Really?
She's like at your graduation dinner, and she's like, you have to travel with your friends, and I was like,
Oh.
how am I gonna do that?
I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So making plans for that.
Right,
Yeah.
you need to start applying
Okay.
that.
Gotcha. Don't worry. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Does anyone else have anything to say?
No, that was a really good conversation. I took a lot of tips with me for sure.
Well, thank you, Ella,
Yes.
for being
Thank
here
you
with
so
us.
much.
Thank you.
Of course, I'm so happy. You guys are fun.
Oh, you're fun too.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, folks, don't forget to just learn more about yourself, try out new hobbies. Don't forget to take care of your mental health, especially. And don't forget to stay